Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 41 of my F1 2016 Sauber career mode, guys. But Sauber we are no longer with. It's going to take about 7 episodes, I guarantee, for me to actually say Toro Rosso career mode now, guys. Because if you did not check out last episode, we got a contract offer from Toro Rosso to replace Carlos Sainz after he was still last place overall in the driver's standings. I'm pretty certain he'd had about 4 or 5 DNFs in the first 10 races. So Toro Rosso came to me like, yo Matt, you want a contract offer? I was like, yes, I will take that right now. I left Sauber after getting them up to about 7th of the development table. So hoping, they can still score a few points. It'd be a shame to, see them absolutely crumble and fall straight back to where they were. All my hard work would be wasted. But still, here we are today then, guys, at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Obviously, it's probably not going to be a very strong day for me. Obviously, I have to learn the new car as well. Toro Rosso really not in a good shape at the moment. I think they've barely scored. I think they've got 4 points at the moment, thanks to Danny Kvyat, and they're down in 9th overall. No, wait, I think it might even be 10th down in the constructors' standings due to Mana. I think might even have more points than them. Only ahead of Renault at this stage of the season. But Felipe Nasr now is back in the car. Carlos Sainz is now out of a seat in Formula 1. But obviously today, as I said, we've got to learn the Toro Rosso now, so we're going to have to be doing a lot of practice laps in this session, just trying to, get the consistency in. Obviously, we still want to be getting a lot of R&D points. The Toro Rosso so far, I think, had 1 upgrade when I got here, which wasn't very good, obviously, with no R&D points carried over across from Sauber either. That just made things a little bit more difficult. But here we are then, on my track acclimatization lap. I always get that name wrong. And so far, this Toro Rosso actually felt a bit odd. It felt like the Sauber when it was when I first started using it, before I obviously put quite a few upgrades on it. Just the way it turned in just wasn't very responsive. As you can see there, absolutely bottling that corner massively there as we got the wheel on the grass. But also, definitely one thing that was even worse with the Toro Rosso was the straight line speed. Now, I thought the Sauber was pretty damn appalling with it, but obviously, although I kept making the mistake, I'm fully aware. Now I know the Toro Rosso has a 2015 Ferrari power unit, which just isn't strong when it comes to straight line tracks, such as Spa and Monza, which are coming up very, very soon. Obviously, we've got the German Grand Prix just between those two. Actually, Germany, another track that's very straight line speed orientated. But we still managed to get the green score there. Just missed out on the purple there, but unfortunately, we didn't go out again, just because I really wanted to just try and get as many R&D points as quickly as I could, just so I had as many laps as I could to get used to the car. But now moving on to my qualifying simulation lap, and we're just in the green at the moment, hoping that we will be able to carry that through the final corner. Then we do go green. Sorry, this was actually in Q1 even. I've only just realised that, guys. That was Q1 there. I didn't leave any of my qualifying sim lap or whatnot. But as you can see, scrolling down the grid now, I think we have just about made it into Q2 here, guys. Very, very close. We can see we got both Mercedes, then we got Ricciardo, Alonso there in a surprising strong 4th place. Had a Raikkonen Button as well. Obviously, this track really, really suits the McLarens here, just where they've obviously got a very good chassis and aero. But as we can see now, just looking down at the bottom of the dropout zone, Danny Kvyat and I just both scrape into Q2 there, knocking out my old teammate Mark Ericsson there. He was not very happy when that happened. But now moving on to my Q2 lap here, guys. I didn't have high hopes for Q3, I was going to try and get it up into sort of like P11 or whatnot, so I had the fresh tyres ready for the Grand Prix. But coming up towards the line, we are going to slot up into P5 ahead of Lewis Hamilton there. But P5, we are the 5 drivers that have actually done a lap so far. But then moving on to the end of the session there, as you can see, we ended up in P14. My teammate Danny Kvyat actually out-qualified me there, and one of my big aims today was to actually out-qualify him, just cement myself as the quicker driver than him. Don't really want to leave Toro Rosso with any questions whether they should have hired me or not. But as you can see, just looking at the end there, as you can see, both Toro Rossos, both Force Indias, and both Hasses failed to make it into Q3. Not very surprising there. Actually, there was no team where one driver got into the next session that the other driver didn't too, if you understand what I mean by that. But now just having a look at the rivalry update, and it's looking like, are we actually going to be able to edge Felipe Massa? No, we don't. Felipe Massa takes me 30 points to 29 there, guys, in the end. That just really was so frustrating, because I was kind of going for the achievement, where you don't lose a rivalry at any single point during the season. But now, as you can see, we're actually in the red at the moment, just because obviously we're back at this new team. So fresh start, we're down to 2 at the moment in the second driver ranking, which obviously isn't very good. But hopefully, over the course of the race and the next couple of races, we should be able to get it back up into the green and possibly even the purple, guys. But let's move on then into the Hungarian Grand Prix.
popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010, or those great races of 2014 and 2015 as well. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaro Ring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking has always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile circuit, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. Let's hope we're in for another one here today. With me to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who made his Grand Prix debut here with Minardi back in 2002. So, Ant, this is a bit of a special one for you, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'd say so. I also stood in to commentate on Jensen's win in 2006, and as I was a test driver for Honda at the time, you can imagine that was quite an emotional Grand Prix. It's also a tough circuit on the drivers, this one too. Lots of long, slow corners that require a lot of patience from inside the car. Plus, it's a very downforce heavy circuit. I mean, it's all relative, of course, but if you're lacking a bit in downforce, or if you've got a bit of an imbalance in the setup, this is definitely one of the worst places to have to deal with that.
Everyone's noticed that you've been leading this team recently. A couple more good results, and you'll be there bottom.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position today, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Rosberg, Sebastian Vettel and Raikkonen, Massa, Alonso, Button and Valtteri Bottas, Kvyat, Hülkenberg, Sergio Perez and a Toro Rosso, Grosjean, Gutierrez, Marcus Ericsson and Pascal Wehrlein, Nasser and Palmer, Rio Haryanto and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are then, guys, on the grid, ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Obviously, it's going to be a one-stop race. It's very, very overcast throughout the whole race. Maybe if we get a safety car, we might actually see the rain come right at the very end of the race. But obviously, guys, we'll have to wait and see about that. But starting P14, ready for my first ever race with Toro Rosso in this career mode. Hoping it can be a good one for me today. This is actually the first game I've ever played with Toro Rosso on a career mode on this channel. But here we are then, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go, and it was actually a fairly decent start there off the initial launch. Sergio Perez gets a very, very good start. My teammate Danny Kvyat bogs down. We're just going to have a look at the outside. Obviously, a very, very tight entrance to Turn 1. Now we're going to have a look down the inside into Turn 1, get past 3 cars there. The yellow flag's already out there. Not too sure what that's all about. It's turned into a car park instantly. And we've got a legal overtake on Danny Kvyat there, so we're going to have to let him back through straight away there, unfortunately. We wanted to get past my teammate straight away there, but that's not going to be able to happen. But coming out into Turn 2, we thought about going up the inside, but obviously we don't want to make any rash moves on my teammate in our first ever race for him. But coming through Turn 3 and 4, having a look around the outside, around the inside, just any possible overtaking chance we may get. But obviously just going to absolutely pounce on it. Coming through Turn 4 now, get an absolutely beautiful run. My teammate goes very, very defensive there. We almost make contact with Danny Kvyat there, hoping, we don't actually crash into him or whatnot, just so Franz Tost is still very happy with us, with his new signing. But both myself and Kvyat now have managed to catch back up with the top guys, as there's quite a big train starting to form here. Not too sure who's the fault of this at the moment, but as you can see, everyone's getting held up. Obviously, Hungary is Monaco without the barriers, guys. So hopefully, we might be able to get past all these cars, maybe. We're very, very confident on this game with overtaking. But let's just have a look then. Are we going to have a look down the inside of my teammate Danny Kvyat there? We just pull out from behind him in the very last second there. And we move up into P12 straight away there of the Grand Prix. And hopefully, we can just make as many positions as we can over these next couple of laps here. As next up on my hit list is Nico Hülkenberg in the Force India. One of my probably going to be a new rival here. Toro Rosso and Force India, fairly close overall in the development standings at the moment. But Daniel Ricciardo currently leads this Grand Prix. Obviously, will want to be taking a position in Red Bull at some point in the future. But Hülkenberg now having a look up the inside of Button. We're going to try and work back on the cutback on them both. Button gets caught up. Hülkenberg manages to get caught on Button's front wheel there. And we make the double overtake there, guys. Get the undercut on them both. And we move up into 10th place. The switchback even. And we move up into 10th place of the Grand Prix. And next up on my hit list is the other McLaren Honda of Fernando Alonso. And are we going to be able to make a move round the outside through turn 4 here? We're going to have a look at it here, guys. We run a little bit wide through the corner, but we've actually made the position stick already. And we move now up into P9 of the Grand Prix here. So very, very good opening lap. Obviously, P9 is where we finished last time out with the Sauber. So hoping, we can do better than that here today. But hoping, over these next few laps, we should be able to make a few more positions. Obviously, we really want to try and stretch these super softs as far as we can into the Grand Prix, but obviously not too far that the tyre wear just completely shreds them to pieces. But now skipping on to lap 3 here, as you can see, the traffic jam has really escalated now, guys. And as you can see, we're right up behind these next couple of cars. They're going 3 wide, just ahead of me into turn 4. And that's going to absolutely slow down all of them there. We're going to move straight past Bottas and also Nico Rosberg there. Can we look around the outside of Kimi Räikkönen? No, we can't. Rosberg gives me a little bit of a push there. Not too sure what that was all about, mate. As we go very, very defensive all around the outside there, into the chicane, and up into P7 we go. Get caught up a little bit on the grass there, which is going to cost us a little bit of time to the guys just up ahead. But now we've moved up into P7 of the Grand Prix. We're really fighting the big boys once again, like we saw last time out at Silverstone. Obviously, we went 3 wide with the Ferraris down in towards the old turn 1 at the Silverstone Grand Prix last time out. But still, now we've got Kimi Räikkönen, Felipe Massa, and I think that might actually be a Force India of Sergio Perez up in P4, but do not hold me to that, guys. As now moving on to the lap 5 here, as you can see, we're up to P6 now, where a couple of AI have made their pit stops. Valtteri Bottas is looking very, very feisty at this moment in time, trying to get a move back past us. But now we've got Felipe Massa just ahead of me, hoping we can get past him in these next couple of corners here. The Williams, obviously, this track isn't one they feel particularly strong at, where it's so much downforce required. But coming through turn 3 here, we're actually pushing Felipe Massa through there, and hoping, we can be able to get a position up on him. Move up into P5, into the double points paying positions here. But coming into the next corner, are we going to make a move on Felipe Massa? We move up the inside into turn 5 there as he just goes on the racing line. And we're just going to squeeze him out on the exit there. Very, very harsh but fair overtake there, guys. No contact has been made so far, as now we move up the inside into the chicane there and up into P5 of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And now moving on then to lap 7 here at the end of our first stint. A lot of the AI have already come into the pits. We basically just mirrored Kimi Räikkönen and Lewis Hamilton as they both came into the pits, making sure we get it slowed down on the line there. Actually, it's Verstappen that's leading this Grand Prix here. I didn't realise that. I thought Lewis Hamilton was leading. Not too sure when I overtook him. Obviously, he must have made pit stops a little bit earlier on in this Grand Prix. But hoping, we don't manage to get held up there, which I was very, very happy with. And we haven't actually lost out any ground to Kimi Räikkönen there. I think we might have even caught him up ever so slightly there. But coming out of the pit lane, guys, we're down into P12 of the Grand Prix. We're going to have a very, very clean exit, actually. Trying to get straight back on the racing line as we've got Lewis Hamilton, Kimi Räikkönen, and I think that might be Kevin Magnussen. It's definitely a Renault. And now all fighting for position. But now moving on, 1 lap later, we managed to get past Kevin Magnussen there. He kind of ran wide, so there was not really much to say about it. And now we've got Kimi Räikkönen and Lewis Hamilton just ahead of me here, guys. It was very much one of those ones where we want to overtake him. In fact, no, it's not Räikkönen. It's Jolyon Palmer that we're right up with now. As we move up his inside after Lewis Hamilton makes the move. Basically just, claiming that position whilst we got the opportunity. And now we're right behind Lewis Hamilton here. It'd be pretty damn impressive if we can overtake the quickest car on the grid in our very, very first outing for Toro Rosso here. Sebastian Vettel lights up the timing sheets as well here, guys. But hoping, that we can get past Lewis Hamilton. As we can see, a few drivers are in the pit lane at the moment. We move back up into P6 of the Grand Prix. So Hamilton is in the 5th place that we originally had. Hoping, we can get past him in these next couple of laps, because we know once Mercedes get the grip, they are just able to pull away. And unfortunately, that is all she wrote. Unfortunately, as I just said there, guys, Lewis Hamilton has been absolutely able to pull away from me massively here. Has now run the threat from Nico Rosberg, moving into the final lap of the Grand Prix. It was a bit of a shame, that obviously Mercedes power just so much quicker than these cars as well. As you can see, Nico Rosberg now moving past us. We almost do a little bit of a Schumacher to him there, but he moves up into P6 of the Grand Prix. And unfortunately, I'm going to look around his outside into turn 1. That's not going to work out as we accidentally put it into first gear. Fortunately for us, don't actually manage to make contact with Valtteri Bottas, which would have cost us a lot more time. But Nico Rosberg now is also just going to be able to pull away from me on this final lap of the Grand Prix. Really hoping that we had the traction to keep up with him, but my tyre wear was just so bad at this stage of the Grand Prix. Those mediums just grained so well here today, guys. But coming into the final couple of corners here, Sebastian Vettel wins the Grand Prix. Ferrari have won 2 races in a row back-to-back here. Pretty damn special day for them. But Lewis Hamilton will be able to extend his championship lead over Nico Rosberg so far this season. It was about 50-odd points last time out, so over 2 race wins already, guys. We're only halfway through the season. But coming up to the line, P7 for our first ever race for Toro Rosso. We can't really complain about that.
difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well though, there's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari.
But there we are then, guys, the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix. A very, very good day out for myself. We were actually best of the rest there, guys, in the end. Obviously, with the Ferraris, the Red Bulls, and the Mercedes, kind of having, you know, quite a stronghold overall in this championship so far. But there we are then, guys, P7 in the Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton only managed to pull out 2 points over his teammate there, but Ferrari are both closing in massively on Mercedes here at the moment, due to just Mercedes, Nico Rosberg, having so much bad luck, being involved in so many crashes at the moment. It's just not looking like it's going to be his year to take home the championship. But Valtteri Bottas finished in P8. Fernando Alonso takes him a couple of very good points for McLaren Honda as well. They were looking very, very strong after qualifying there, but unfortunately couldn't convert it into good points over there. Felipe Massa just missing out on points, as well as my teammate Danny Kvyat. Everyone managed to finish the Grand Prix though, guys, but Renault were very, very much at the back of the grid there. Renault so far this season have really just struggled to do anything with their car. They've very much just fallen so far back if you have a look at the R&D in comparison to pretty much every other team on the grid here at this moment in time. But obviously, you know, Season 2, they might come back a lot stronger than we've seen them in Season 1, but obviously that's a very, very long way away from now so far in this season. But overall there, guys, as I said, very, very happy with that result. Really wanted to just get a good result down for Toro Rosso. Really wanted to just prove to myself that I had the confidence within the car as well, to be able to push it against some of the front runners as well there, guys. You can see it actually paid off very well there in the end, taking home 6 points towards Toro Rosso and also my championship standing. That also marks, guys, that we have scored more than 50% of Toro Rosso's points after just one Grand Prix for them. But having a look now at the drivers' standings, we can see Lewis Hamilton has a 65-point lead at the moment, with Nico Rosberg down to 3rd place overall, Kimi Raikkonen 4th, Max Verstappen 5th, Daniel Ricciardo 6th, Valtteri Bottas 7th, Jenson Button 8th, Nico Hulkenberg 9th, Fernando Alonso down in P10, and myself now up into P11 after we jumped Felipe Massa there. For Sergio Perez down in P13, Romain Grosjean 14th, my old teammate Marcus Ericsson 16th, and there is Danny Kvyat with his 4 points for Toro Rosso. Carlos Sainz now not last due to Felipe Nasser's return to the grid there, guys. So Carlos Sainz, you know, I don't think he'll be, well, I don't think that really mattered too much for him, as he's now going down to the job centre, you know, hoping he can find a new job. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe for new content around here, for my F1 2016 career mode, for my AOR races as well. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you next time.
Surprise!